For today's episode, I thought we could all use some positivity because it's been doom and gloom recently. So I wanted to look over a couple of things to keep an eye on that are on the upward trajectory. Starting with the Week 15 matchup, which definitely favors the Atlanta Falcons. So as things currently stand, the Falcons are on the outside looking in. They are one game back of the Bucs, but they do have the tiebreaker, so they just need Tampa to slip up once, and then Atlanta can go back in front and control their own destiny. So the good news for the Falcons is the Buccaneers have a pretty tough opponent this week. They're going to travel across the country and play the Chargers. Meanwhile, the Falcons, they are 4-point favorites on the road as they play the Raiders on Monday Night Football against either a banged-up Aiden O'Connell or an injury-prone and familiar face Desmond Ridder. So advantage Atlanta for sure for Week 15. When it comes down to the numbers, if the Falcons win and the Buccaneers lose, the New York Times playoff calculator projects that the Falcons would have a 57% chance of making the playoffs. Now, if the Falcons and Buccaneers both win, it goes down to 44%. And don't ask me what happens if the Falcons lose, because at that point, the season really is over. So, with that in mind, let's look at the remaining schedules because Atlanta needs Tampa to slip up at least once, and this week is a great opportunity for that to happen. If not this week, the Cowboys are fully capable of knocking off the Buccaneers. I know Dallas isn't having a good year, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at home that they give the Buccaneers a good run for their money. Meanwhile, the Falcons' next two games are against the teams picking 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. Now, I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds on the remaining schedules for both teams because ultimately, whether they play easy or tough opponents, it won't matter if Kirk Cousins can't throw a touchdown pass and can't stop throwing interceptions and pick sixes. So priority number one for Atlanta is to figure out their own issues. Then you can start playing with your food a little bit and going, well, we've got some easy matchups here. Easy, yes, but easy is relative in the NFL. They're all professionals, and we all know that anyone can beat anyone on any given Sunday. Two more things to look at in just a moment here, but we've got 3 straight videos with over 300 likes. So let's keep that trend rolling. Hit that thumbs up button down below. If you're a frequent flyer in the like icon, I really appreciate you. It goes a long way to support the channel. And if you're not, consider liking the video time to time. Next thing I want to put on your radar, Bijan Robinson is awesome. I'm just going to take the next couple of minutes to remind you guys that the Falcons definitely have an incredible running back. Robinson this year has already surpassed his rushing yards from last year and has doubled his touchdowns on the ground from last year. Robinson is putting up incredible numbers, and he is living up to the billing of being a top 10 draft pick, in my opinion, so far in year 2. Now, more on this in just a second, but I do want to tell everyone watching about all of our great friends over at Factor. So, with the holiday season here, we know how busy it can be, and you don't want to waste a lot of time with cooking and cleaning. With Factor's no prep, no mess meals, from breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled up and feeling your best. Because Factor's meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're not going to love only how Factor meals taste, but also how they support your goals. There's no sacrificing quality for convenience with Factor. Weekly menu offers ways to treat yourself to restaurant quality like meals experience with gourmet plus dishes that feature premium protein and seasonal sides like broccolini and asparagus. How about truffle butter filet mignon and so much more. Head to factormeals.com/50FalconsChat and use code 50FalconsChat to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. That's code 50FalconsChat at factormeals.com/50FalconsChat to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. Going back to Robinson, he is second in the NFL right now of games with 100-plus scrimmage yards, only trailing What could be the NFL MVP, Saquon Barkley. 9 times this season, Barkley has amassed over 100 yards from scrimmage through the air and on the ground. So I know some people only look at rushing yards when evaluating running backs. And don't get me wrong, that's definitely the largest chunk of the pie. But don't sleep on Bijan's receiving abilities as well, along with his blitz pickups. So go back to week 14. The Falcons played the Vikings. We don't need to relive too much of it. But playing the Vikings means playing the team that blitzed more than anyone else in the league. And Bijan Robinson was going to be in for a long day of picking up blitzes. And he delivered. Just look at some of these huge blitz pickups here that Robinson picks up. And that allows Cousins to stand in the pocket a little bit longer. And both of these pickups led to big gains down the field. It would not have been possible without Robinson's ability to pick up a blitz and hold down the fort. So kudos to Robinson for not only growing this year as a rusher and a receiver, but also in the nitty-grittiness that we never really look at when talking about running backs, because you don't get fantasy points for picking up blitzes, but your quarterback really appreciates it. Your offensive line does, your coach does, and when they go back and watch film, the whole team loves to see this type of stuff. So Robinson is having an awesome year. Despite all the offensive struggles over the last couple of weeks, he has been consistently very good. Third thing to watch for as some positivity here. Arnold Ebiketie is playing better. I mean, I didn't think we'd be talking about a pass rusher in the same sentence as positive, but give credit where credit is due. Look at what he's done the last 2 games. I know, it's just 2 games, but there's not a whole lot of positivity in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. He's got 3 sacks and 4 pressures. Like, there is something maybe happening here. When I was putting together this part of the show, I reminded myself of how Zach Harrison ended the season last year, and we all thought, oh, he's going to be awesome next year. Yeah, the guy plays 22% of snaps, so hopefully that's not the same for Ebiketie. But I was looking ahead and just kind of projecting in my own brain a little bit of what the Falcons' front 5 could look like in 2025. And if Arnold continues to play at the level he has the last few weeks, I think he's in line to start, hopefully opposite of a first-round draft pick, because that's definitely what the Falcons need to prioritize in the draft. They've got to find a defensive end in free agency, or they can flip-flop the outside linebacker and defensive end in terms of free agency via or first-round draft pick. And then I think you likely bring back David Onyemata and Grady Jarrett, 2 guys that I'm pretty sure are still under contract for next year. So that, to me, is a rough idea as to what the Falcons' front 5 could look like. Hopefully, Arnold continues to play at a high level, and we could see him take on a larger role in 2025. I predict the score for me, Falcons versus Raiders. Let me know in the comments section who you got and by how much. I'm going to say Falcons win this one 28-17. 28-17, Dirty Birds. Before we sign off, I just want to show some extra love and appreciation to a couple of you that have sent in super thanks in recent history. Joseph Smith, Keith, Earthquake always makes me laugh, Grand Limousine, The World of Sean, Ryan and Chris, Keenan, Blair Bros, Jeffrey. I really appreciate you guys sending in super thanks to support the channel. If you don't know what a super thanks is, it's kind of like YouTube's version of a tip jar. So if you enjoy the free content we provide and you want to send something our way, we'll give you a shout out. We'll show you some love. Just click over here. You'll see like a heart with a $sign in the middle. Click on it, send in whatever amount you're comfortable with, and we'll give you a shout out on a future show.